special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.
Auto Club Speedway, let's get ready for race number 1. Season 3 officially is here for GLSR. And we are ready to go racing for the third time in the Xfinity car, the B car, whatever you want to call it. But it is here in SoCal at the Auto Club Speedway for the second time in series history. We kick off the season here in California as we welcome you in. I am the captain as we got a great season set up for you here as we now hit officially season number 10 of the Captain Esports Network, covering the GLSR series all the way from the trucks back at season 1 to now here at season number 3 as we have a lot to cover. And let's start with you right now with the schedule for this season. As mentioned, Auto Club Speedway kicks it off here tonight, and we stay out west to the Phoenix Raceway next Wednesday evening. Then it's to Martinsville, Pocono, Charlotte. 5 straight ovals before we hit the one road course on the schedule this season, and that being at the Sonoma Raceway on the 17th of April. IRP, the old Lucas Oil Raceway, or Indianapolis Raceway Park as I know it as. Their Gateway, Talladega, Richmond. The traditionals are still there. Michigan finishing out the regular season before a 5-race playoff system, by the way, you'll notice, instead of 4. That includes a charity race on the 26th there at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. So a lot of great things to go, a lot of different themes, as you see, a part of the campaign, and so much more. We're ready to go here from Auto Club and GLSR here in the Downrange Transport Premier Series. Now, tomorrow night is something new. The SRX Challenge, of course, with the Short Track Super League and GLSR, that is actually going to kick off their season, is going to be in April, but they're doing some recruiting races. But FYI, that series about ready to get going here in the near future. Josh Gagnon has put this all together to have some fun there in the old SRX Mobile. So I want to get that out there also to everyone to know about that. So if you're a part of the league, you can be a part of that series for absolutely free. So make sure you follow Gagnon's rules or whatever, and know what races are coming up at what times recruiting-wise before the season gets here, and so on and so forth. So, as you saw in the intro, last season, Stephen Miles going to victory lane at Homestead and becoming a champion in this series. And what is going to happen in Season 3? Can he go back-to-back? Will Sam Fontaine get his throne back with him this season? Will we see another driver? We've got one making his return that has one of the winningest records in all of iRacing. Talking about Jonathan Tuckness. He is back in the series this season. Of course, Peyton Johnson, one of the hottest drivers at the end of last season. You've got KJD2. They have got a big roster with some added drivers ready to add on to that. And not to mention an old new rule back in the series this season. What do I mean by old new? It's an old rule back in the early seasons of GLSR that states if we go green all the way to halfway without a caution, there will be a competition caution throw. It's an old GLSR rule back in the day. So at lap 50 tonight of the 100 laps, if we are caution free, the caution will get thrown to bring everybody back together, a competition caution, kind of shaking things up. So we'll see how that plays a role. So going to be interesting to see what happens here this coming season. So, all right. Last week, if you watched the Clash at Daytona, you might remember this guy was up in the booth with us as he wasn't in the race, but he was in the race. And heard rave reviews from this guy here as Big Daddy, or Troublemaker Daddy, or whatever you want to call him, Peyton Johnson, up here in the booth with us real quickly as he gets ready to make his start here tonight. Peyton, obviously, you were one of the big drivers towards the end of last season, making the moves. You fell up just short of making the championship 4. How does that change this year?
I just think being a little bit more consistent would help. Got myself into a couple bad situations there toward the end of the season that kind of dashed my hopes. There's a lot of fast drivers in here, and it's gotten even better this year, so it's going to be tough. I mean, you better bring it every week.
Now, obviously, you were there in the booth with us last week, and we're not on a super speedway this week, so kicking off the season a little bit different tonight. Does that change your mindset, knowing that you're not at Daytona tonight?
Man, I don't know how many other people you've talked to, but this is going to be a conserve your right rear tire race, so it's definitely not a super speedway. You better have some eggshells behind that pedal.
Well, that's something I'm looking forward to seeing. Obviously, the groove is going to be yes, as I called it earlier to somebody who asked me, what groove do you run here? I'm like, yes, because you're going to run pretty much from the white line to the top. And obviously with the warmer weather here, I know it's static weather, so we're going to see pretty much everything, but the track temp is going to stay exactly the same throughout the practice here. But I see the checkered flag waving. Go get ready for qualifying, buddy, and maybe we'll talk in victory lane here in a little bit.
Hope so. Thanks for having us. I'm sure you'll put on a great broadcast, bud.
I'm going to do my best. I mean, it's kind of hard to carry what we did last week. Just saying.
Thanks, bud.
So, you too, buddy. Peyton Johnson joining us here in the booth as he gets ready to go out there and qualify here this evening. We'll get him down to his team name, which is something.
I got it.
Okay, he's going to move himself because I don't know. Anyways. All right, qualifying beginning. So they'll get their usual 2 laps here. And let's see who's going to be the first one out there to run a lap. Let's actually check out one of our new guys here in this series. Say hello to Dylan Hargett, who's got the Budweiser number 8, though he's actually in the number 12. So he's going to have one of those, this is one of those first race, you'll have some people with mixed numbers type of situation. And that's what we got here in this. But welcome Dylan to GLSR. Let's see how he does here on his first lap of qualifying. He's going to be the first one, I believe, to cross the line here. He is. Carrying speeds up to close to 200 miles an hour. Easily the fastest speeds, along with Michigan, that you will see in this B car. Getting a little free over those seams down this long back straightaway. 15 degrees of banking in the corners. Down into 3 and 4. Going to put it right down on that white line. You could even go below it if you really wanted to, but you heard Peyton talk a little bit about how this car is going to drive on the rear. As you see right there, the 12 getting loose as he crosses the start-finish line, lap 1. As he plants it with a 41.63. Now, obviously, probably not going to be the fastest because he lost so much time. Cam Ingram to the pole right now with a 51. And then Diego Sainz, who's pretty good at this qualifying thing, gets up there with a 30. And he's got everybody by a 10th and a half right now. Almost. Still got some pretty good weapons here. Peyton Johnson, 41.27 to the top. Last season's champion. He is rolling off of pit road right now. We'll come back to him here in a second. One of the hottest drivers from last season towards the end, Tyler Pluff. Hoping he doesn't have that sophomore jinx, if you will, in that 39 car Rookie of the Year. Or actually lost the Rookie of the Year, I believe, in the end at the last race because he was not able to race or something. I'm trying to remember how that all worked out. I can't remember. But a lot of different elements here in this play, in this situation. But Tyler Pluff right now, 3 and 4. Let's see how he does coming back to the start-finish line. As you see him bring it down off the top side, that's almost like a throwaway lap for him. As Pluff the slowest right now, 41.8. Big shout out to Downrange Transport, by the way, which is the Premier Series sponsorship again this season for a 3rd season now. As Peyton Johnson still the pole sitter with a 41.27. Miles plots in with a 36 as Pluff crosses the line. And of course, if they're in purple, that's a good thing. Pluff moves up to 14th right now in his qualifying effort. As Stephen Miles aborts his lap, so he'll start 6th in his first race to back up his championship. As Sean Peachin on track. He's got a new paint scheme this season. Of course, he is now part of the KJD 22 Brigade as Ace Racing has taken the season off. And here's one of the drivers I mentioned, Jonathan Tuckness, who is back in the series after a couple season hiatus. He's got that Marconi Setup Shop number 94 out there on track. And when I talk about a driver that races a lot, there's a lot of racing, and then there's Jonathan Tuckness. What I mean by that, Jonathan Tuckness has made 11,353 starts on ovals. This is not a joke, by the way, and this is all ovals on iRacing. He has 2,719 wins. That's 2,719. And might have just run the slowest, or you know what, he got the wall and he tried to stop. So he's actually going to start tail end Charlie on the field here. So the man races a lot. So he knows how to get around these tracks and probably knows the little secrets and here and there and so on and so forth. So as we welcome him back to the series. All right, qualifying over, Peyton Johnson on the pole for the first race of the season. And we're going to take you trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. And for those who don't recognize that voice, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but that is the friend of Sammy Barnes, who actually recorded that at the Chicagoland Speedway back at like season 4 or 5. We actually had the video of him doing the national anthem, and big shout out to that gentleman and Sam for helping me get that for the season. Of course, with all the leagues that I broadcast here on the Captain Esports Network. Right now, though, it is time to race as the cars roll off from the grid. And we show you the starting lineup for the Pro Simrest West 200 here from Auto Club Speedway. Peyton Johnson on the pole, 41.27. beats out Jason Dalton, who came up just short of the championship last season. Diego Sainz, Sam Fontaine, one of only a few multi-time champions in the series, will start fourth. Alex Bryson and the series champ right there in sixth, Stephen Miles. Brandon Alford, Lucas Stranger in row number 4. Row 5, Brian Sutphin and Cam Ingram back for another series race there in the 5 car. Kane Atkins, Tyler Brewer, row number 6. Row 7, Joey Ladisor, Tyler Pluff, Richard Midkiff, Sam Barnes, Sean Peach and Cedric Ingram, Devin Hargett, rookie there, Dalton Carter, Tanya Sutphin, Luke Simonson, Jonathan Tuckness, Ethan Gregory, and Brandon Machieski squeezing in there at the end to join the field. Appreciate Tim for being there, a part of the series. 100 laps tonight, 200 miles. It is the static weather, which means that it is 78 degrees with the 2-mile-an-hour winds, partly cloudy skies. The one thing that will change is the track temp, and we'll keep an eye on that as we come to the green flag as Peyton Johnson, Jason Dalton lead them to the start of Season 3 of the Downrange Transport Premier Series on the Captain Esports Network. Here we go as one car has pulled off to the bottom and went to the back, it looks like, at the start. So not a big deal, it looked like at first. It looked kind of big. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. Check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Johnson to the lead to start. See the car shuffling. Very bumpy, abrasive track. Already seen some cars move to the top side. Diego Sainz is second. Looks like 2 cars already getting California stripes, if you will, as Johnson leads lap 1. Now, again, the one thing to remember here is the new old rule. Basically, if we get to halfway and there are no yellows, a caution will get thrown. Does that change the approach of the drivers? You have to wonder, because obviously if you stay green here for a very long time, you have to wonder, do you pit a little early to try to steal the track position for that caution? Something to consider. So Sainz up to second. Let's go back here. This Hornet's Nest. That is Ladisor on the bottom in a 23 car. That is Peachin in the 69 car. That is Jonathan Tuckness with the elevator move to the bottom here as he tries to roar up there through the field. Sammy Van Bergen there in the 22 car running the WeatherTech cars. Look at Peachin make a move inside of his fellow admin brethren there, the 40 car Brewer. As up front, here comes Sainz. All these different paint schemes and new colors you're seeing. I like that chrome on it too. You heard Peyton again mentioning going to be driving his car on the right rear tire throughout this race. So you want to be careful of that, because that means this car is going to get loose. Sainz doing a great job battling on that bottom side, but these guys are kind of hurting their tires here. Dalton just being patient there, letting these guys work it out here for a second. You see Fontaine right there with him. Alex Bryson to 38. Appreciate the viewers who are checking us out here tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, course, we appreciate you coming back and joining us as Sainz clears himself up the track. Does give Dalton the room, though. Obviously, a little late on getting the link shared out today, and I apologize for that, but sometimes you get a phone call and it's somebody you haven't talked to in years, and you end up on the phone with them, and you look up, and it's 10 after 8, and it's like, oh, I gotta go, guys. I already cut you off. It happens. On board Peyton Johnson, as you see, getting that run off the top side there. Off my screen. They settle down there for a quick second. But back here, you see Tuckness trying to make moves to the outside lane. And again, still getting used to some of these color schemes. These are different schemes each year. First race is always one of the tougher ones to do because you have to get used to who's in what car here. The 56 there, that is Caden Atkins. Of course, you got Tuckness there behind him, almost scraping the outside wall. Obviously, the draft plays a big role here, as you see Tuckness pushing Brian Sutphin there in the 26 as they trying to pass by the 56. So Caden kind of holding tight there on that inside lane, but good close racing here throughout. It's pretty much everybody throughout the field less than a second away from each other. Good tight racing here. 100% fuel. So looks like 40 to 45 laps or so, depending on how much you're able to save and how hard you race. As here comes Dalton again to the inside of Peyton. That chrome just shiny. So Peyton able to hold on to that second position there as Diego Sainz kind of stretching it out a little bit. 10-second lead, or 10-second lead, 10 laps in, and a 0.4 of a second lead. Go back here where Bluey hangs out. Brandon Maciejewski and his new nickname, because he wears the Bluey paint scheme there. He does that for his daughter, which is really cool to see, by the way. And I would do the same thing for mine if she watched. Richard Midkiff, the senior driver of the series, so to say, and I mean that respectfully because I'm not going to go any further with that. Let's put it like that. Ethan Gregory there behind him in the Dr. Pepper machine as we're 3 wide as the newcomer getting welcomed in. Hello, Devin Hargett. Struggling right now for him in the 21st position. As back at it again, Dalton and Johnson for second. Fontaine looking to potentially make a move there with his teammate. Looks like Doug, hey, fighting that wheel a little bit, a little free. I was trying not to say that, Kim. It's Kim says the old man joke. I was trying not to say old man. I mean, hey, I respect the fact that somebody of his age takes the time to come play a sim like this. That's cool. And again, I'm not meaning that disrespectfully at all. See a couple of cars. Saw Cedric Ingram up there scraping a wall. I think Peachin did. Thanks for watching, Kim, by the way. Appreciate it. Brandon Alphin, the United Reynolds 21 car. Back there, one of the champions previously of this league. There's Cam Ingram in the 5. You can see the spicy schemes been scratched up a little bit there already as Sean Peachin getting a little free there off of turn 2. Lucas Strayer in the field there in that 41 car. You see him. Strayer had one of those up and down seasons last season. Had a race pretty much locked up as Bryson's going to tag the wall and get turned by his teammate. Oh no, caution comes out. The Laser Racing boys having some issues. Alphin looks like he's okay. And Bryson's okay too, it looks like. Yikes for a team that was looking for retribution. After losing the championship last year, Miles felt pretty confident in his team. Unfortunately, there, a mistake by Alex gets him into his teammate and brings the caution out here for the first time. And what that does is eliminates the strategy now of the halfway break. So this race now will go green the rest of the way if it were to stay green. Let's see what happens. The Pennsylvania driver of Alex Bryson. Ironically, right there behind his teammate. You see Bryson was already kind of high at that moment. Slides up, dirty air a little bit there. Very easy to tag that wall right there and just comes down into Brandon. And they both go very well. At least Alex goes for just a little slide there. Brandon does a good job locking it down and no issues as the caution comes out. Let's jump to pit road because we have pit stops. To see who comes out of pit road where. Diego Sainz going to be first. Tyler Dalton's second. Miles with a good stop comes out third. Fontaine and Cedric Ingram. 2-tire stop for Cedric. Bryson looks like no damage there. 15-2 for him. But I see one car up here in that 5th position. All right, let's talk to a driver here. So we're under caution for the first time. As Tuckness on pit road now. Diego Sainz there in the 44 leading this race. I think we're about to go to green, so let's get a quick word with the leader who's been pretty fast here. As Diego looking pretty good there in that 44 car, I should say, buddy.
Did not expect it at all, but I've been practicing all like past 2 weeks to just get ready for this race. I'm excited.
Is it the ghost white helmet and seatbelt, or is it the Jeff Gordon suit that you're wearing that's doing it?
It's got to be the white. It's got to be the white.
I mean, that thing is Casper White. I don't know.
Hey,
Just saying.
stays clean.
It stays clean. I like it. So, well, great job, man. How's the car feel so far?
So far, it's really loose on exit, but I've been able to keep it under control. My tires didn't degrade as much, but we'll see on this next run. Hopefully, we can get a long run in.
Absolutely. Well, great job, man. Good job, and let's see if you can finish it off.
I hope so.
All right, buddy. That is the Gunslinger Racing number 44 of Diego Sainz, who is a very fun character to talk to. As we come back to the green, lap number 17. Appreciate everyone watching here. Hello, Luke Daniels and Devin Ramsey watching in chat. As we go back to green. Ramsey coming off a Truck Series win Monday night at Talladega in the GLSR Super Truck Series. Followed that up by finishing all of 5 laps in the race the next night. Wow, somebody just elevator moved to the top side there. They'd have a Sutphin that caught the outside wall. 3 wide back there with Alphin. We have to keep an eye on Cedric Ingram there in that 19. Tried to either 2 tires or fuel only in that 19 car, and you see he is going backwards. So that tells me fuel only potentially for him. Gagnon, of course, watching also as he puts together the SRX series. The one thing that, as Devin Ramsey, we were talking about him in chat just now, they're kind of mentioning him. The one thing he will never finish first in, unfortunately, and I hate to say this about the man, but he will never be the richest Ramsey in America. Peachin looking inside of Pluff for the 10th position, or I should say the other way around, for 9th as Pluff falls back to 10th. Josh is telling me to come race with him when he knows I broadcast every night. As Ladasor battling with Sutphin. Oh, and Bryson, part 2. Can he save it? He does this time. Caden Atkins sliding up into the 38. AB's going to have nightmares of turn 4. It saves. He falls all the way back to the 19th position. Now has some work to do. As Luke Daniels wants an IR 18 series in chat. If I had time, Luke, we'd have one already going. Sainz, Dalton, Fontaine, Miles, Strayer, your top 5. So obviously pitting here at that last caution at 15. That puts us at a spot where we go to 55 laps. And as I've told you, I've said it millions of times in a broadcast. It doesn't matter. You could put 25 hybrid cars with no gas in them on Auto Club Speedway. Electric cars. And it would find a way to have a fuel mileage race at Auto Club or Michigan. And here we are. If we go green the rest of the way, they would have to go 45 laps on a tank of fuel, potentially making it a fuel mileage race. So, it happens every time. I know that sounds counterintuitive. A batteried car running for gas, or whatever, a hybrid car running for gas. Just, yeah. Maciejewski up to the 12th position. Ladasor with him. Ryan Sutphin there as they try to chase down Brandon Alphin up to the 10th spot already. After the teammate RG Bargy. There's last season's champion, Ric Flair Drip. Also the Clash champion, by the way. Won the Clash last week. He and Alphin teaming up in the last lap move. Ride with Miles here. Let's see what kind of speeds we get here. ...187 miles an hour down to turn 3. Gonna let the car roll. Hit the apex there, 155. Let it slide out to the outside wall here. As you see up front for the lead, Jason Dalton looking inside of Signs. I think Dalton led that lap from here. No, it looks like Diego did by barely. As Lucas Strayer looking to the inside. Miles getting right down on that door. Still trying to battle with Tyler. These two just don't want to give it up. You see Sean kind of getting in there a little deeper. Tyler trying to get left. Sean did a good job center off there, it looks like. Luke Daniels in chat stating he is an old man. He is all of, I think, 10 years younger than me and is going to bed when I get up earlier than he does in the morning. Good luck with that. 3 wide back here with Bryson Tuckness and Tanyan Sutphin in the 7. Tanyan leaning down on that 94 car. Kind of surprised Jonathan's not been able to work his way up there. Of course, he part of the team now of Peyton Johnson's. Peyton messaged me yesterday. He's like, "Hey, you gonna believe who's going to be a part of the team?" He shares the name as we got contact, and Richard Midkiff is, he just clips the inside wall, and Houdini puts his nose back on. That car is probably broken. Yes, I get up at 345, Luke. That car is broke. You can see the right front just is not turning now. Let's see what happened there. But Midkiff going to come to pit road, unscheduled pit stop, and obviously a nose issue. See if we could find the issue, because unfortunately it doesn't show me as an incident, so I gotta go find it. I mean, he barely clips this inside wall. And Sammy B there in front of him. Yeah, he gets just a little loose there, almost gets the outside wall, loses momentum, gets tagged, it looks like. Slight clip, there goes his nose, and then you clap on, it gets put back on. It's like, what was the old console game? The NASCAR game that you could play, it was like '09, I think, where if you had like limited, or I forget what the damage model was or whatever, if you hit, I think it was limited, you hit the triangle button and it like automatically replaced your car while you were driving. Like you kept going on the track and just fixed your damage. Anyways, so there's Midkiff leaving pit road. Gets the damage fixed on that, and we got teammates battling for second now as Fontaine to the low side of Sutphin, of Dalton. Miles right there with him. One thing I'm taking note of is Tyler Brewer's on pit road now and scheduled pit stop. That inside line, you just cannot complete a pass right now. Fontaine trying to do everything he can. And not able to pass that 24. Speeds right now already falling off almost 2 seconds. So saying that, obviously the caution came at 15. We're at lap 33 now, so just 18 laps into a run. 15 from 185. Do you dare split this into a two-stop race? Or do you go ahead and do the one stop and hope you can make it on fuel? Will tires play a difference here? Everybody running 43 threes and fours and fives. Fastest laps are in the 41 threes and fours as Miles goes to second, passing Dalton. I want to remind you the 10th episode of the Scalicast, and that's not counting 9A and B. It's technically like the 12th episode, but we're calling it episode 10 of the Scalicast out as we recap the race from Phoenix this past week, the St. Petersburg IndyCar race, the Verstappen win at the F1 race. Literally takes me 10 seconds to say that, but Telder likes to talk about it. We'll talk about that. And also have a good discussion about IndyCar versus NASCAR prices and stuff. Just off-the-cuff discussion that happened on the podcast. You can check that out right now, see episode 10. And then tomorrow, we'll have episode 11 released, which is an interview with Jim Herrick. If you don't know who Jim Herrick is, he is the founder and owner of 4D Racewear. That a lot of drivers like myself wear his shoes and gloves, and it is basically wear that you can have for sim racers. And not only that, but as you'll learn in the interview, you can use it for other stuff like actual karting, as long as you don't do it a lot, or truck sim, or stuff like that. But you can hear that interview. We'll have it released for you tomorrow, episode 11 with Jim Herrick, as we do our first week of the split episodes of the Scalicast. So you can check that out on Spotify, iHeartMedia, or if you're in the Discord channel of the Captains, it's right there for you too. Make sure you check out 4dracewear.com, by the way, if you haven't already. Good. The shoes are awesome. The gloves, I mean, you hear us go in depth about those, and then even some souvenirs on there like hats and stuff. And you might even hear Jim talk a little bit off the cuff about some other stuff they're working on. So, as the car's really working hard now. Handling really coming into play. Car's starting to slide up. Here comes Peyton Johnson, who has fallen all the way back to the 13th position. Not sure if he's just on the struggle bus here or what the deal is. But Peyton has fallen all the way back, getting a little free there below Caden. One thing's for sure, these guys put this race in the daytime, and it has opened up the handling here. Let's put the weather up real quickly and show you where we're at track temp wise. Again, it's static weather, so everything to the left is the same. Then you get over here to this 120 right here on the right. That's the track temp. That's not going to stay the same. Of course, the cars are out there running laps and so on and so forth, so the track is obviously slickening up and allowing the cars to move around and find the best way around thanks to this oval refresh. Up front, here comes maybe the new version of Mr. Long Run. I used to call it J.W. Miller. Stephen Miles might have taken this cart away. As Miles to the top side, trying to get the lead. As Tyler Brewer apparently forgot to turn his phone off before the race started. But credit to him for being a good working man for his family, as he'll have to go to work and fall out of the race as Miles goes to the front. The champ, back where he finished off last season at a track that's pretty similar to Homestead when it comes to a worn out surface. He's back here, Brandon Alphin working on Dalton now. Look at him fight that wheel. And he clears for the 5th position to move off and into the top 5. Here's Fontaine now. So Diego's starting to kind of fall back here a little bit. It's the longest run, obviously, of the race, only going 15 laps that last time around. Now we're at lap almost 30 of this green flag run. Oh, man, that got tight. Objects in mirror closer than they appear. Fontaine rocking the Moneymaker Motorsports 77 car. It's the old STSL name there. He and Telder, and who else was on that team back then? Benedetto. The old Moneymaker team, Michael Steffen. Unfortunately, you see Diego going backwards. That high line, I almost think you got to go up there now, because that's where we're seeing the passes being made is off the top side. Adam Bradshaw asking to see the Tanyan Sutphin paint scheme. I don't mind showing that for a split second. There you go. Did you do that yourself, sir? Appreciate you joining us. He's back here following Sam Van Barnsbergen. Pardon, I have to jump back to the front because they're battling again. Strayer going to go to second. So all of a sudden, Lucas Strayer becoming a long run car here. Tallest man in the field. And here comes Alphin on the bottom side, who's gone to the Miles School of Long Runs there at that laser team, and as he's trying to make passes now. Maciejewski back there making moves from the back. Good racing everywhere here. Cedric Ingram, by the way, making a pit stop for tires. So his strategy of hoping for a caution, maybe to flip the strategy and have tires, has kind of backfired a little bit. He's going to need everybody to have a pit stop here, get back on the lead lap, and then hope for a yellow probably to get back in this running. I forgot Barnes is like 6'6" or something like that too, isn't he? Miles might have the biggest lead anybody's had in this race, 0.7 of a second. Yeah, play with that throttle all the way around. Go down the back straightaway here. You let off the gas a little earlier. Let them get the run into the corner, and then you just carry the throttle all the way around this top side. Alphin actually got a little tight there. That's going to kill his momentum. Signs hanging her out. Let's go back here, actually, because now they're starting to fight a little bit here. Devin Hargett, along with Sam Barnes and Tannen Sutphin, these guys back here. Add in the 3 of Dalton Carter. Mr. Pants debate earlier. Oh, Barnes gets in the wall, and around goes Devin off of Tanyan. And that Bud car hits the inside wall hard. No caution because there's really nobody back here to throw the caution. Nobody like coming by here any minute probably to trigger it. That's how you get the caution thrown. But Dalton Carter helping me answer a question today that sometimes when you're out there driving, you just come up with random things. And I came up with this random question today that came to my mind in the Captain Discord. And I'll put it out there in chat too. Because some people know where I'm going with this. But all this time, we've said we'll go to get dressed and like we have to grab a pair of pants. Which we all know a pair is 2, right? So how is a pair of pants 1 pants? Kind of goes out there with the driving on a parkway, parking on a driveway thing. And Josh, you're not in this race. That's why I said that. Miles's lead is gone. As here comes Lucas Strayer. As we come to the halfway point. Which, by the way, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, unless something has changed, I wasn't told, awards a bonus point right there to Stephen Miles for leading a halfway. No, it was not a dad joke. It was actually a random thought. Think about it. We all wear pairs of pants or pairs of shorts or a pair of underwear. How do you have a pair when it's one of something? We don't wear a pair of shirts. We wear a pair of socks because there's 2 socks. A pair of shoes because there's 2 shoes. There's 1 shorts, 1 pants we wear, not a pair. Right, that's obviously the theory behind it is 2 holes, but still. Josh says he has 2 pairs of pants. That means you have 4 pants, Josh. So the cars you're starting to see slide around here a lot as Brandon Alfin's going to come to pit road here. Ooh, this might be a little early, Brandon. Peyton Johnson going to come to pit road. And I do appreciate those who have helped me with this, by the way, but I've gotten some feedback. See, now Josh is saying he wished he had 4 pairs of pants, which means he wants 8 pants. You see where I'm going with this? So Johnson, Alfin on pit road here, 4 tires and fuel. As you'll see on the right side, just to kind of show everybody what's going on here, you see the laps on the right here of who's pitted when. 51, 52 for Alfin, Tuckness on pit road, Johnson, the rest of these guys at lap 15, just to kind of show this. And you'll see their pit times next to what lap. Like Brandon Alfin, a 19.6. What happened here? Right side tires. Left side tires, which makes me wonder, did he not fill the car up? That's a slow stop for that 21. Luke Simonson on pit road. No, actually what Telder is saying is exactly what it is in real life. That guy learned that earlier today too. So there's a whole Google article on it or whatever about why it's called what it is. So Telder is actually right here. As down pit road comes Jason Dalton and Alex Bryson now. .49, that is Luke Simonson. I would call him cheat. Oh, Bryson, that's a little hot and to the left. Overshoots a little bit. He's not having a good night here. 4 tires and fuel for all these guys as Miles continues to lead. Strayer up to second. Fontaine still third. Brandon Maciejewski up to fourth. Now, just to correct what I was saying last year, last week, or earlier today, I can't talk. Correcting myself from earlier this evening. I talked about Pluff being the Rookie of the Year. He did win Rookie of the Year last season. Maciejewski was on his way to winning Rookie of the Year, but had an issue connecting into the last race and was not able to race, thus giving Pluff the win by default of the Rookie of the Year last year. So I want to make sure I clear that up. So now, we are in the window where these cars can make it on fuel the rest of the way here. So these cars should be coming to pit road any minute. Those cars that short pitted, though, we are going to have to worry a little bit about. As the battle for second, Fontaine looking inside. I've got 99 cents. appreciate that. With taxes, I'm going to get like 10 cents of that. I'm kidding. Obviously, I do appreciate it, though. You see the fresh tires going up the middle there. Sean Peachin bringing the... Uh-oh. You better turn. Spicy Schemes car to pit road. Now I've got $1.99. Woohoo! Is water wet? Because Devin Ramsey donated $1.99 to the stream, which I appreciate, I'm going to answer this question. Is water wet? Water, I can't say... Water... Yeah, I guess the answer is yes to that as I think about this, because it is a liquid. So, oh, Sutphin zigzagging on the pit road here as Cade Atkins, a lot of sore comes to pit road. I'm going to say yes to that. I don't really have a good answer, I think, to why, other than it's a liquid and you have to wipe it off, I guess, like dry it off your hands or wherever specific spot gets wet or something. So best answer I got for you. I mean, that goes back to how do you clean up after your dog when the dog doesn't clean up. Leader on pit road, Stephen Miles is in. Four tires and fuel for the champ. As you see where everything's cycling out right now, Tuckness is going to jump in front of Miles. Brandon Alfin, looks like Dalton's going to jump him, but he's going to have the fresher tires here. So we'll have to see. As Sam Fontaine leads Brandon Maciejewski now to pit road. As all the leaders are in now. I apologize to those watching the race. I've ruined chat for you. I've broken chat. Sammy B leading a lap here, lap 62, as he's yet to pit. And he is the only car that I see here that has not been to pit road during this cycle. As Hargett's on pit road, Gregory is in. And now Sam Barnes comes down pit road. Here he comes. Sam Van Barnsbergen, as I'm calling him, comes down pit road. And that is going to hand the lead to Jonathan Tuckness in the 94 car. Let's cycle everything around. He's going to have a 4.8 second lead over Brandon Alfin, who's got Jason Dalton up his back. These guys 4 seconds back. Then you got Stephen Miles, all of 5.4 seconds back from this battle. As we'll kind of take you through the field here and show you where everybody's running right now. There is Dalton actually going to make the pass. 3-lap newer tires than Alfin, so he should be able to clear him here. There's Stephen Miles. He is fourth right now. As I mentioned, 9.5 seconds back, but is catching Tuckness pretty quickly here. Lucas Strayer running in the fifth position. Lucas in the 41 car. Doing a good job here so far. Sam Fontaine about 1.8 seconds back. Sam in the 77. Got Alex Bryson right there behind him. Sean Peachin. There's Alex right there. And then Sean Peachin, who's under attack with Maciejewski and the 26 of Brian Sutphin. And behind them, Peyton Johnson, the pole sitter, fell back during that last run. Not sure exactly why. I did not get a chance to pay attention to it or see it. But Peyton in the 10th position right now. He is 14 seconds back in the 15 car. Cam Ingram and his teammate Diego Sainz battling for 11th and 12th right here. Diego falling back after leading a lot of laps early in his race. Going to probably need a yellow to get caught back up here. Those guys 11th and 12th right now. All these cars still on the lead lap. There's Season 2 Rookie of the Year Tyler Pluff, the Body Armor 39 car. 13th position for him. Behind him, Caden Atkins. Caden running in the 14th position right now. Good to see Caden coming back here in the series. Cedric Ingram, 15th position. Cedric, of course, did that strategy earlier with no tires. He was able to gain some track position short pitting there, but he is going to need a lot of help here to get back to the front if he wants the opportunity to win his second straight season opener. In 15th there. Joey Ladassour, 16th position here for him. He is 24 seconds back. Canadian driver there, ready to return to the dirt tracks if he hasn't already in his big block modified in real life. Ethan Gregory, the Dr. Pepper 25 car, running in the 17th position. And then Tanyan Sutphin back here, 18th position, as he and Dalton Carter continue to draft with each other. Trying to get up here. Sam Barnes, last one to come off pit road, 20th right now for him. He is 36 seconds back. And all of a sudden, Brian Sutphin is back here again. We just talked about him. So not sure what happened to Brian. He must be a lap down. That's why I didn't realize it. So my bad on that. Brian Sutphin there, 21st. Devin Harr getting his debut here, 22nd. Luke Simonson on pit road now. And Tyler Brewer still at work, apparently. And Richard Midkiff watching the stream. So that is where we sit right here at lap number 70 of this race as we go back to this battle here for the 7th position. As we look at the battle of teammates here, Miles underneath Alphin. He's going to take the 3rd position away. And that right there is a difference of 8 lap tires. As Miles just kind of tearing through the field here, and he's already cut Tuckness's lead down to 3.6 seconds. And obviously the fastest car on the track right now with the newer tires. So the teammates back here for the Gunslinger team, 10th and 9th and 10th now with Sainz and Ingram. They just passed Alex Bryson for position. So basically the cars that you're seeing that short pitted, those are the guys up front now in this race. It's the guys that pitted later. Those are the ones that you're kind of seeing going up through the field now and making the passes and so on and so forth. As we're going to have a battle for the lead here very shortly, as Jason Dalton has got his fishing pole out and he is reeling in Tuckness. As we have 28 laps to go next time by. Dylan Rosenberg, is a hot dog a sandwich? That's a good one. A hot dog without bread is not a sandwich, so technically to your question, no. A hot dog is not a sandwich, it's a hot dog. With bread, I'm going to say yes. I've never really thought that one through, but I'm going to say yes. But I think in order to say yes or no to that answer, you have to first think, what is your definition of a sandwich? And, of course, this is where opinions vary. As Miles slides up in front of Dalton for second. So before Dalton can get to Tuckness, Miles is going to get there, it looks like. I mean, when you look at a hot dog compared to a Philly or a ham and cheese sandwich or whatever that's in a sub or a hoagie or whatever, or a bun, it's the same thing. That's where my definition comes into play. But, of course, again, opinions vary. And I like hearing people's opinions. Miles inside of Tuckness going to take the lead. Right here for those guys that short pitted and pitted early in this race, a caution would totally put this race into their advantage. But we've only had the one caution so far, and Tuckness is going to come to pit road now. And so is Brandon Alphin. So those two obviously were short on fuel, so they are turning this into a tire race is what they're doing. So they're going to try the tire strategy to go to the front and see what they can get. I am not so sure about this, but you know what? They're better drivers than I am. Somebody went spinning off turn 4 over there. I see smoke. Unfortunately, I do not know who it was. Telder saying... So in that case, the way Telder's explaining it in chat is what he is saying is that a hot dog would be technically a sub. Correct me if I'm wrong. As Strayer looking underneath Dalton. Or a submarine, as people call it in long form. Which, by the way, if your bun breaks in half, that means you've went grocery shopping likely at Walmart. Or Kroger, I guess, too. Their buns break in half sometimes. So here's Signs. Here's Sean Peachin. Cam Ingram. Hey, my pleasure. Good conversations. I like it. Good talk. Battled out for the 6th, 7th, and 8th positions now. So Alphin and Tuckness back on the track. And they are over a lap down. Oh, what? Well, Taylor, technically what Dylan asked is a hot dog a sandwich. A hot dog itself is not a sandwich. It is a hot dog. A sandwich, in order for it to be a sandwich, you got to have a bun involved. Which then at that answers the second question of, is it a sandwich? Which, how you explain it, would say no, which then brings a sub into question. Because at that point, a hot dog would be the equivalent of a sub. Because technically the bun is... You know what I mean? So Jonathan Tuckness is still on the lead lap. And is going to be obviously the fastest car out there now. He just ran a 41.91, miles of 43.27. So let's do some math here. Now, obviously, Tuckness's tires are going to fall off. So can he make up what is the equivalent of 39 seconds in 22 laps? That means he's going to have to make up almost 2 seconds a lap in order to catch Stephen Miles. Now, Dylan says he will take Walmart hot dog buns over Aldi all day. I will fight you to my death on that one. I've never had issues with Aldi buns. Walmart ones I can almost open up and they peel in half right immediately. So Dalton has fallen back to third as you see his teammate Sam Fontaine going by. 21 laps to go now. And by the way, for those who are interested, I need to make a note to myself to do this for you guys each race. I do appreciate the conversation, though. This is fun. As I like having viewers being a part of the chat as we call the race. Here is the telemetry, by the way, if you would like to open that up and see all the telemetry I have right now. And you can edit however you would like as Sainz and Cam Ingram continue to work together as they try to pull away from Peachin. And now they're using the draft of Brian Sutphin there, the lap car, to try to tag team their way up there because the draft is pretty powerful at this track. As we're at 20 laps to go. Isn't Aldo a dog food? Aldi is a grocery, it's a German grocery store, Tyler, that is a lot of, in America, in a lot of places. They're actually about to build one in Nevada, I think. Except their prices, it's a lot of generic, their own version of generic foods. I mean, they do some stuff on, like, products, like main products, like Kellogg's cereal and stuff like that. But it's, like, in one little section. But their prices are so much lower than other places. I shouldn't say so much lower, but they have a lot of lower price stuff. Dalton starting to fall back now. Is Maciejewski going to catch him? Without the membership, Tyler. See if Maciejewski can drive it down here and make the clear, or make the move to be clear. And he does there for the 4th position. So Maciejewski, great race for him as he's up 21 spots. As Peyton Johnson's on pit road. So Peyton's race is just completely unraveled for him. I don't know what this is. If he's short on fuel and decided he had to come to pit road, or... I wouldn't even call it Dollar General like. I mean, it's... I mean, their stuff's like good. I mean, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, those kind of stores, you get value prices for like product line foods, but even that, you get like smaller portions. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to word it. All right, 17 coming to 16 laps to go here. Miles leading Strayer by that much. That is 1.3 seconds, and it's 2.3 back to Sam Fontaine. Brandon Maciejewski, 3.4 back. Jason Dalton, 4 seconds back. There's your top 5 into the picture there. There's the teammates trying to work together as they pass by Sutphin, who pulls down, is going to let Sean Peachin go by. Makes sense. I understand what you're saying. I'll tell you this, though. I'll shop Aldi anywhere, any day. Place, I mean, it's awesome. So great race here so far, as we've seen strategy all over the place. We've seen different leaders throughout the race, only one caution. No real drama at all, other than the drama of who can get the victory lane. I actually, last week, I think I showed the photo in the chat, made a pulled pork out of a pork loin. It was like a $4 thing that fed me for 3 days almost. Their ribs are pretty good too. You get their you get boneless spare ribs. They're pretty good. So next week, the Phoenix Raceway for the Premier Series. The Truck Series has off. They run every other week. They'll be at Vegas for their next start on Monday. And they just actually signed a deal to bring on a broadcaster. I think they redid the broadcast for the Daytona or Talladega race last night, or recently. And I know that they'll be covering, I forget the network's name, but they're going to be covering Monday and then Thursday's SRX series when that starts in April. But the best way to find out about this stuff, just go and reach out to Sean Peachin or Tyler Brewer or Fontaine, any of those guys, or you can reach out to me and I'll help you get connected to GLSR. Back here, Barnes and Tanyan Sutphin battle it out for 16th and 17th. Let's check on Tuckness. He is up to the 14th position. Now going to make the pass for 13th. He is still about 3/4 of a second faster than Miles. So obviously his tires have fallen off. But these other guys, their tires have plateaued. And not really falling off any more than they are. So Tuckness right now still could probably get up to maybe the top 10 before this race is over. It's going to be very tough for him to do. Big shout out to ProSim West, the sponsor of tonight's race, the ProSim West 200. Appreciate those guys for being a part of the series once again. Of course, they and Tyler Brewer have a big relationship. Tyler in the 40 car. I know they were on a couple of races last season. Extreme Sim TV, by the way, is that series, that the broadcast that covers Monday and Thursday. So big shout out to those guys for ProSim West, a Western Canadian dealer for advanced sim racing, by the way. For those who don't know, they actually sell sim racing equipment as well as turnkey simulators. So big shout out to those guys for, again, being a sponsor of the series races. And as I mentioned, Tyler Brewer out of the race, but obviously on that 40 car throughout the season. So Cam and Diego trying to work their way up there. Here's Sam Fontaine and Maciejewski. Sam's been able to hold off Brandon for the 3rd position. Strayer has knocked down that lead a little bit to 1 second. He's in the draft of Miles. He's literally 1/100th of a second faster. There's Miles and there's Strayer right there behind him. Now, how much of an upset would that be if Strayer could catch Miles and pass him for the win? The irony of this whole battle here, Miles is over in the Peachtree City area, southwest Atlanta, Georgia, and Lucas Strayer is running a paint scheme reminiscent of Reed Sorensen, who is from Peachtree City, Georgia. Miles doing a good job just running that bottom lane. And you see Strayer just not able to get any room, or not able to gain any run outside of just coming down the straightaway here, because he's able to carry the momentum off the corner. Matter of fact, let's put the lap times up on the board here and let you guys see that. Last time by, it was a 74 for Miles and 81 for Strayer, a 79 and a 79 for Fontaine and Maciejewski. They ran matching time, so everybody right there within 7/100ths of a second. That just shows you how close these times are right now. And you know these guys are driving pretty hard right now. Matter of fact, Sam and Brandon might be trying to work together here to catch Strayer. That time by, 72 for Miles and 84 for Strayer. 73 for Maciejewski, who's on the inside of Fontaine now for third. There he is. And he is going to take the third position away. Fontaine giving him a little giddy up. Great job by Brandon tonight, getting in the top three after pretty much showing up at the last minute for this race. And that time by, Brandon was actually a 10th faster than Miles, making the pass. That's impressive. You almost wonder, did Brandon maybe lay back a little bit there trying to save his tires to get to second? Because all of a sudden he has turned it up. I mean, that time by, he was 2/10 faster than the field. Might not be able to get to Miles, but might be able to get to second place. 4 laps to go. Not really any battles out there. Signs and Cam are still working together. You got Bryson about a 10th off of Pluff, and I should correct myself because back here, Dalton Carter just passed Sam Barnes for 17th. And Sam's isn't going to give it up. He's like, I want this back. That time by, Maciejewski another 10th faster than, actually 2/10 faster than Strayer. Strayer must have worn the tires off of that car. Well, I gotta check the history stats on this. Tyler, you might be able to help me out. Has any driver in GLSR won the finale and then come back and won the race the next week or not the next week, but the next season opener? Like bookending almost, if you will. Brandon blinking out there for a split second as he gained another 10th that time by. I mean, I'm thinking back as far as I can go here. I mean, unless it happened during that time period where I wasn't broadcasting here. As here goes Cam and Sainz tag team and Jason Dalton. As Miles going to take the white flag. As Cam and Diego go to the 5th and 6th final lap. In a race that started with Diego Sainz looking like he might be the car to beat tonight. It turned into long runs. And from there, Stephen Miles is taken over. As he's going to go through 3 and 4. And the Season 2 Premier Series champion going to come off turn 4 and kick off Season 3 in victory lane as Miles wins at Auto Club Speedway in the Pro Sim West 200. As something happened for second because Maciejewski ends up second over Strayer, who I saw sideways back there. Ooh, going to have to look at this, see what happened. Maciejewski got to him. Oh, little contact amongst the group. Strayer ain't going to be happy about that move. But Brandon kind of pinched him up there into the wall to get the position. There we go. Ric Flair back in victory lane again. One of Flair's quotes, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right there's the man. Winner the championship back in last season and now kicking off the season in victory lane here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway is Stephen Miles. Let's watch the finish again here. Let's go to the crash cam and let you guys watch it. iRacing coming to the finish. And guess who the first person we get to talk to now? Lucas Strayer. This is going to be an interesting interview right here now. Let's show the results real quickly here of the race. As Miles wins it by a 1.5 seconds over Maciejewski, Strayer 3rd, Fontaine and Cam Ingram 5th. Sainz, Dalton, Peach, and Pluff and Bryson end up your top 10. Caden Atkins 11th. Ethan Gregory 12th. Tuckness 13th. Ladisor 14th. Brandon Alphin ends up 15th. I know he is not going to be happy with that, as he tried to go a little off kilter there with the strategy and it did not work out for him. Tanyan Sutphin 16th. Dalton Carter 17th. Barnes 18th. Peyton Johnson ends up 19th. He is not going to be happy about that. Brian Sutphin 20th. Cedric Ingram 21st. Devin Hargett in his debut 22nd. Luke Simonson 23rd. Tyler Brewer 24th. And Richard Midkiff ends up 25th. Unfortunate for Mr. Midkiff. All right, let's get our top 3 finishers here. Starting with Strayer. of curious to peek at something here really quickly. It's not open yet. Okay, I was going to see if they're... This league is very infamous for the boxing ring. But let's get Strayer up here, who obviously got to get his opinion after a third-place finish. Obviously was running second there. Lucas, I can probably tell you're not happy right now.
I hope his second was worth it. Like, I don't know. I've raced him clean all the time. Even like when he was trying to pass me for pit stops, I literally let him go. Like, at one point, I kind of blocked him when I was racing Fontaine, but I even keyed up and said like, "Hey, sorry, like I'm just pushing loose, like tight, like." And literally the next corner, I gave him the thing. So, yeah, I don't know what that was about. If he would have like dove it in and tried to slide job me, that's one thing. If he was like doing anything else, like if he would have gave me more room, but like he just literally came up and just pushed me into the wall and got a 4X, gave Fontaine an X. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. That was not cool. But he did prevent me from getting another second, so I can give him that. I don't want to be the guy who always gets second, so we'll take a third. Third means free beer. I know that's not a thing anymore, but I still love the campaign. But yeah, so it happens. I want to say hi to my family that's watching. Like, hi family. Sorry I didn't get second, but at least you get to hear from me.
This is true. As you look at the positives, which is good, but I got to do my job. Does this change things like how we race now down the road?
I mean, he drives for Peyton's team, and Peyton's already defending him, so.
Ah, okay. I understand that. Well, great job tonight, man. Obviously, let's look at the overall race, man. You had a great long-run car, and you definitely put it to show tonight.
Yeah, so. I mean, Miles was freaking amazing. He deserved that win fully. Great act by him. So, yeah, we're going to go from there and call it a day.
All right. Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shout-outs wherever you like to.
I already said my family, but yeah, Grip Marketing, Spoiler Diecast, glad to get him another thing, but like, yeah, it's fantastic that we have people doing stuff like that, but hey man, we're gonna go drink a beer, but I told him if he got a top 3, I would buy him a beer, but now that he walled me, I'm not gonna buy him a beer anymore, so.
Just give him a Natty Light. It's water.
Oh, I won't even do that.
Hey, man, good job.
Hey man, thank you.
You too. Lucas Strayer finishing in the 3rd position tonight. Congratulations to him, and oh boy, we'll move him down to his channel. I don't even know what channel you were in.
Brewer.
Oh, okay, thank you. Wow. The ring is active already, boys. The ring is active. As Brandon Maciejewski finishes 2nd tonight. Great race, obviously, for you. All the way from the back and showing up very much like your previous owner would do a lot in these races and show up 2 minutes before the start. Yeah, great job, though. But obviously, I got to get a rebuttal from you here, going for 2nd there, and your side of what happened there coming to the finish.
I was just fighting hard for P2. I sent it into 3 and 4, had the run. We were side by side coming to the line. I just squeezed him up a little bit. I mean, anybody's going to do the same thing. You know, you watch the replay. I'm coming up as he's weaving all the way down the front stretch. So, I mean, it is what it is. Anybody's going to at least catch a door and try to fight for the position instead of just giving up the run. So,
fair enough. Great race, though. Obviously, working your way through the field, that had to be a tough thing to do, especially with only 1 caution.
Oh, yeah. We just, kept hammering at it, stayed diligent, made sure that we were taking care of the tires in the long run. And I think if I could have made it for qualifying and put it up front, it would have been a little bit different battle at the end. But we'll take it. P2. It's just like we started last season. We started P2 the first race, so maybe I'm not trying to call the shot yet. I don't want to jinx myself, but with I think it's Phoenix coming up. It's another driver's track, just like New Hampshire. So we'll see what we can do. See if we can keep the tires on it, and maybe we can get a win and lock us in.
Obviously, a track tonight very tough to pass on, very slick. Phoenix going to be a similar setting. Obviously, going to be very slickery out there, and I know, from previous races I've broadcasted there already in the last couple of weeks, that track, especially after about 10 laps, becomes almost impossible to pass on. So how big is going to be track position next week?
Track position is huge. I mean, a lot of tracks, track position is huge. I mean, even here, as you can see, starting in the back didn't give us, the P1 finish that we were looking for, but, we'll obviously take the P2 and move on to next week. But we'll try to put it out front and keep it out front.
The Maciejewski Revenge Tour from last season.
Go.
I like it. Great job, man. Send some shout-outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, shout out to the Captain Esports Network and everybody that puts on the league. Without you guys here, we wouldn't be out here doing the thing. So, it's always a good time to have you guys along. The great broadcast. I'm gonna probably rewatch it back tonight, and everybody should do the same. Even if you watch it live, go back and rewatch it. It's good stuff. And
it gets me views.
And it gets you views. And Sean for putting on the league and taking care of all the admin work. All the guys on the admin team that work extra hours outside their normal stuff to keep everything running, keep the lights on.
Absolutely. So. Well, great job tonight. Obviously, congrats in the Bluey car. I know your daughter's proud of you. And obviously, we'll see you next week, buddy.
All right, man. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too. Brandon Maciejewski finishing in a second position here tonight. Congratulations to him. As the champ returns to victory lane here, his third straight win now with counting the clash last week, but officially, record-wise, I believe it's his second straight win. But I am checking, by the way, with Tyler Brewer to see you might be the first driver in series history to win the finale and then the season opener in the next season. So congratulations, Stephen Miles. Welcome to Victory Lane.
Appreciate it, Scott. Appreciate it.
As he did not use his podcast mic tonight, Teller, please take note. So great job tonight, man. Talk about the race, because long run, obviously, you showed up there, and then the different pit strategies played a role.
I apologize right now. I'm on my phone right now. My headset cut off halfway through the race. I have a Razer headset, and Casey Carrington won me yesterday. And it started messing up the beginning of the race, and it came back, and then all of a sudden I couldn't hear nothing but my teammates in Discord, but they couldn't even hear me talk. So, the race, it's kind of how I expected it. The outside line to be the dominant line, and whoever rides the bottom kind of sacrifice some track position to try to see if they can save their tires. But how the tire wear was and how the track state was, the groove kind of moved up off the bottom anyway, and you could save. But it was hectic that last half of the race. Man, I couldn't tell if I was burning my tires, or I couldn't hear my entry to pit road or pit box, or my crew chief telling me anything. It was just nerve-wracking, and I mean, I was working my tail off, man. I'm sweating right now. I had to run upstairs, get my charger to get on my phone. But, yeah, I mean, unfortunately for my teammates, I don't know what happened there. I wish I was on the mic to get on to them, but
I knew you would too.
Yeah, I seen it happen, and I'm yelling, and they can't hear me, and I hear them apologizing or whatever, but I don't know where they came back to finish, man. But that race was Miami Homestead, Strayer being fast, Fontaine and those guys, Bluey and Jonathan Tuckness in the field, and you got a lot of good competitors, Diego Sainz and all them. And I mean, to run up there with these guys and race like we did, man, I'm happy about it.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations and getting the win there. Great job going to get the phone charger there. And I was going to say, you already kind of don't talk much when you're out there racing, because you're pretty forward focused, as I like to say. I
don't talk at all, but I got to still relay messages to my team with the pit strategy or something like that. Try to, I don't know, put another opinion or another voice in their head to make them second think, or just listen to what I'm doing so they could judge off that. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate, man. I never drove a car without sound before, and I never want to do it again.
Yeah, I was gonna say that had to be because I mean, well, especially shifting coming off a pit road or trying to get to pit road speed and all the different sounds that you're used to and habits and so on and so forth. So, man, great job tonight. Way to put yourself already into the playoffs. So that's a good thing there, as you get to
I
kind
forgot
of
about that.
do your thing now the rest of the season, obviously, and defend your championship when that gets here. But obviously, send some shout outs to everybody like you, bud.
Shout out Laser Racing, my teammates Alfin, Alfin and AB, man. We're a 3-car team, and we stick together because we vibe together. Our chemistry race wise is unique, so we feel like 3 cars we could contend with the 8-car teams or whoever got more than us, and hopefully we can show that later on through the season. And shout out you, best broadcaster around. Shout out Scholar Cast. It just dropped last night with some good content on there. Shout out to league admins, the league, Dale's Pool. They just reopened, got the best prices around there. Mount Washington, Louisville, and thank God, thank my girlfriend, man. That'll be it.
Absolutely, man. Happy 1 month to the little guy. Thank you. Absolutely. So Stephen Miles, son Draco, turning a month old. So happy birthday, I guess we call that, to him. That's a cool part of being a child. You get 18 birthdays in the first 18 months.
Yeah.
No, nice job, obviously, Miles dominating that last half of the race, and it was a very strong showing there for the 24 car there. So congratulations, go charge your stuff, and we'll let him go and rest up. As he mentioned a podcast. Obviously tomorrow we'll release the interview part, which is episode 11 with Jim Herrick tomorrow, so appreciate that. Big shout out to Pro Sim West for sponsoring the Pro Sim West 200 here tonight. Of course, we'll probably see their sponsorship throughout the season here. Big shout out to Downrange Transport, Mr. Kevin Davis, for sponsoring the series for a 3rd season. And, of course, for GLSR for allowing me to come back and be a part of the series now for what is now 10 of 12 seasons, basically. And in one of the seasons, I actually raced for like 3/4 of it. So, but I appreciate those guys for allowing us to come back. Always a great series to be a part of. And I know, obviously, there's been drama left and right at times and that kind of thing. But every series has drama. And, yeah. Every series has drama. Let's put it like that. Appreciate the viewers for watching us tonight. Appreciate the conversation. That was fun to learn about pants and shorts and hot dogs and sandwiches. And I have to do that a lot more. Do those kind of chats in race chat. So appreciate the viewers as always. And make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow the Captain on Facebook and Twitter. Just look up the Captain Esports Network there. And, of course, Discord if you want to be a part of our Discord page. We're the Captain Esports Network doing race recaps and stuff on Sundays. Then you can let me know and I'll get you the link and stuff to go there. But appreciate everybody for watching us here on this Wednesday evening. Remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing, I think. See ya!
copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.